We have spoken with therapists, an expert in past life regression, someone who has the ability to communicate with the dying, another person who has mapped out what to expect during the dying process, an addict who speaks openly about the trauma of addiction, and someone who decided to open a Dharma center in an unlikely and potentially unsafe neighborhood. Common themes: compassion toward themselves and compassion toward others, and an understanding that what they do is for the benefit of others and a way to help others experience release from suffering. In their own ways, each of these people are now engaged in right livelihood. Hi, it's Margaret Meloni, and welcome to the Death Dhamma podcast. I'm a Buddhist practitioner out here in the world, having experienced the loss of my loved ones and knowing how much my Buddhist practice helped me on my grief journey. And now, together we have this safe space to discuss death, dying, grief, and the Buddhist teachings that help us really understand attachment, impermanence, being compassionate, being death ready, and what it means to live a life so that we can have a peaceful death. Yep, it's a big topic, and we're going to take it on together. Let's go. The Buddha taught that the way for us to leave suffering behind is through the disciplined practice of the Noble Eightfold Path, comprising right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. This path offers a comprehensive approach to personal development and spiritual growth. Now, the Buddha wasn't necessarily concerned about personal development. He was all about helping us find release from suffering. Navigating right livelihood is not about choosing an occupation. That's part of it, absolutely. But it's about aligning our work with our values, overcoming the challenges that come along the way, and finding purpose and meaning in our everyday work. Right livelihood means earning our living in a way that does no harm to others and is congruent with our personal values and beliefs. Right livelihood is one of the elements of the Noble Eightfold Path that focuses on the moral and ethical dimension of our lives. It's about being honest, fair, and empathetic in our personal and professional relationships. There are some clear guidelines about what constitutes right livelihood. Consider these two passages. First, monks. These 5 trades ought not to be plied by a lay disciple. Trade in weapons, trade in human beings, trade in flesh, trade in spirits or intoxicants, and trade in poison. And this second passage, ask what monks' wrong mode of livelihood: trickery, cajolery, insinuating, dissembling, rapacity for gain upon gain, and what monks is the right side of merit that ripens unto cleaving to a new birth? Herein monks, an Aryan disciple, by getting rid of wrong livelihood, earns his living by a right mode of living. The fields of livelihood, which the Buddha prohibited to his lay followers, as listed in the quote that we just referenced, they're limited to those in which the disciple would be directly or indirectly or steering somebody away from breaking one of the 5 precepts. And so either you yourself would be breaking a precept by engaging in this line of work, or you would be assisting someone else, so to speak, in breaking one of the 5 precepts. And you remember the 5 precepts, are basic moral rules for the Buddhist layperson. Anyone who's attempting to develop morality, concentration, and wisdom can't deal in weapons of any sort at any level of the business, because doing so would be involving yourself in causing harm or injury to others for your own monetary gain. You also can't be selling drugs or intoxicants, because you are also contributing to somebody's demise and your own. And then, of course, anything that involves the killing of other creatures. So I think you can see how the fields of livelihood that are not right, how they would lead us to break the precepts. And that is to the detriment of all. To help others in breaking any of the precepts is certainly wrong livelihood. And when you stay away from that, in this way you help yourself and you are helping others. So you are helping yourself on your path to release from suffering and helping others on their paths. Now, your work, it's not just a means of earning your living. It's an extension of your identity, a reflection of your values, and a testimony of your beliefs. So aligning your work with your values and beliefs is central to practicing right livelihood. But this is not a one-time thing, like I don't do this and go like, okay, I got aligned, I'm done. It's a journey. You need, constant reflection, introspection. You look at your choices, you make new choices, you're persistent in your efforts, and it's going to require you to make difficult decisions and face uncomfortable truths. For example, there was a time when I was asked to teach a course for an organization, and this organization makes a device that can be used for photography, but it can also be weaponized. Now, I would love to tell you that I declined the work, but I did not decline the work. And it was interesting, although this was a business class, the topic of ethics came up. And some of the people who worked there, felt like they faced the same dilemma. Like they know that they are creating this technology that's innovative and really helpful with, certain kinds of photography. And they also knew that maybe some places who purchased this from them may have turned it into weapons. And, knowing that there is the possibility of something being weaponized, I could have taken the path of, well, but that isn't the intention of the device, which is the path I took because I did accept the teaching assignment. But you can see that, this is years ago, and I'm still thinking about it. Was that the right decision? Was that right livelihood where there was the possibility that this item could have been weaponized, right? Making this effort, thinking about these things and these decisions, it's worth it. When your work aligns with your values, it becomes more than just a job. It can be a source of your personal satisfaction, and that contributes to your spiritual growth. Also, your contribution to society. It brings meaning and purpose to your endeavors, and when you are motivated and you're transformed and your work is, personal expression and reflects who you are and contributes in a positive way to society, then it helps others around you and it helps the world around us. So it's not also about achieving perfection, right? It's not like I am 100% perfect at my job every day. It is about making progress, learning from your experiences, and growing as a person, and growing as your person in your career, your livelihood, and also just overall. It's about transforming your work into a journey of self-discovery. Also, practicing right livelihood means that you perform your job in the best possible way. Every day your best is different, absolutely, but that you are absolutely giving your best effort. You don't cheat your employer. You don't take advantage of your colleagues or your customers, depending on your line of work. You act with integrity, and you also seek to have that, the infamous work-life balance. You seek for that work-life balance, and it involves using your income appropriately, not overspending, not withholding. So not withholding resources from your family or your loved ones when they need them, and to give as generously as possible, with the understanding that what is possible for each of us is different because we have different income levels and resource levels in our lives. Is it challenging? Sure. It comes with a set of challenges. Here's 3 challenges and some thoughts around overcoming them. First, dilemma in decision making. You may face dilemmas while making decisions that align with your values, like I did. Reflect on your values, seek advice, and trust your instincts to make the right choices. Resistance from others. You may face resistance from others when your choices don't conform to their expectations or to even what might be the societal norms around you. For example, if I had turned down that teaching assignment, I know that the company who was trying to send me on the assignment would have been unhappy, right? And they would have definitely wanted to talk me into it. And possibly, by the way, they may not have hired me again, right? So sometimes, you stay true to your values, even knowing that it could have an adverse effect on your income, but it could have had a positive effect on my growth along the path, right? So be clear about your intentions and seek understanding and support. And just as you seek to surround yourself with strong friends, seek to surround yourself with strong organizations and colleagues that reflect your values so that you don't find yourself in the middle of a very difficult dilemma. We might also experience self-doubt and fear about, are we doing the right thing? What is the right thing? I mean, I could look back and say maybe I experienced some self-doubt and fear when it came to considering this teaching position. Certainly there was fear that I wouldn't be hired again if I didn't take it, and maybe some self-doubt that maybe I was being overly dramatic by considering rejecting the job, right? So be sure to practice your self-compassion, embrace your fears and face them. That's the best way to understand them and to make friends with them so that you can overcome them and convert them into opportunities for growth. An essential aspect of practicing right livelihood is nurturing healthy work relationships. Our relationships with our colleagues, clients, stakeholders, customers significantly influence our work experience and our professional success. Respecting others, understanding their perspectives, and appreciating their contributions can greatly enhance the quality of our work relationships. It can foster trust, promote cooperation, and create a positive work environment. And when the work environment is positive, there's less opportunity for some of the, toxic behaviors, perhaps, the opportunity to engage in speech that isn't right speech because we're upset. Healthy work relationships help society too. They can foster a sense of community, promote mutual respect, and, get us to work together collectively towards common goals. Nurturing healthy work relationships is definitely in alignment with the philosophy of right livelihood. And when you think of all of this, remember, many of us spend so much of our lives engaged in our work. You can see how critical all of this is because we need to earn a living, yes, and we face challenges. And as we do, we're given opportunities to grow in our practice on a regular basis. I've got books for you, starting with Carpooling with Death, How Living with Death Will Make You Stronger, Wiser, and Fearless, the book that got me going and helped me to discuss going through the death of my loved ones, followed by Sitting with Death, Buddhist insights to help you face your fears and live a peaceful life, based on Season 1 of the Death Dhamma podcast. And just recently, Enlightenment Unleashed, how your pet can lead you to spiritual transformation, because during our lifetime, we may see the rising and ceasing of many pets, and we love them like they are our family. Find these on Amazon.com or come see me at MargaretMeloni.com. You've been listening to the Death Dhamma podcast with your host, Margaret Meloni. Thank you so much for being here. Come find me on MargaretMeloni.com, MargaretMeloni.com. And until we meet again, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be at ease,